Hi guys, this episode I want to start off with a story. Now, there was a Scottish farmer who was walking along one morning and he had heard a noise of a child crying from a distance. Curious to find out what was the reason, he traveled in the direction of the sound. Upon reaching there, he discovered that the boy was drowning in a black muck. The swamp was pulling the boy down, and it would be a slow and painful process, and the child was crying and screaming in agony. So this Scottish farmer tried his level best to pull the child out of that swamp, and eventually he succeeded in doing that. Upon bringing him back, he had said that not to worry and consoled him and patted his back and sent him home. And the farmer went his merry way that evening. The following day, the boy's father came to pay a visit to this farmer. The boy's father had tears in his eyes and his hands were joined, and he said, "Thank you for saving my son's life. I don't know how I will be able to repay you, but I am ready to do anything you want." To which the farmer replied that there is nothing that you can pay me because I was just doing my duty as a human being. But the father was not ready to go back without giving some sort of offering to the man that saved his little boy's life. So this was around the time that the farmer's son has made his presence felt while walking along the porch and reaching the front area. Looking at the farmer's boy, the father asked, "Alright, you don't want anything monetary from my hand, but how about I take that kid of yours and give him a proper education in his life?" And dare I say, if the boy is half the man that the father is, then he would not only make you proud, but he would also make this nation proud. So the farmer thought about it for a second and granted the man permission, and this man took his son away and gave him a very good education. That little boy was later known as Sir Alexander Fleming. He was famous for his discovery of penicillin. Now, upon his discovery, years later, years after his discovery, there was a nobleman's son who was diagnosed with pneumonia. The cure for that boy's pneumonia was penicillin, and that little boy's name, who was diagnosed with pneumonia, was Sir Winston Churchill. Now, this entire act of how things happened, all the way from the farmer saving that little boy's life, is what we call in Indian philosophy as karma. Now, surely the farmer would not have thought about all these things when that little boy was screaming in agony, drowning in that swamp. That was one random act of kindness that was performed by that farmer. Now you see what has happened all the way down the line, down the lane of history, how much of an impact that little moment has had. Maybe if the farmer had not saved him, the entire course of history would have changed now when we look back at it. Now, simply put, the general definition of karma is always, people call it deja vu. Simply put in English, they say what goes around comes right back around. And in science too, Sir Isaac Newton has given a perfect definition for karma through one of his Newton's third law, where he states every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And that process is exactly what is present in all our activities in our life, our day-to-day activities, whatever we do. Because generally in karma, as per the Indian philosophy, what it says is, karma is something that is a transfer of energy from one person onto another. It doesn't have to be good, it doesn't have to be bad, it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It is exactly what a particular person deserves in the exact quantity, at the exact time, and at the exact place. Now, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, as I've mentioned before. This could be explained with a simple concept of how a bird flies, the science of a bird flying. When the bird flies, the size of the force of air and the size of force on the bird is equal. However, when we take a look at the direction of the size of force on air and the direction of size of force on the bird, it is opposite. That is why when the bird flaps its wings downwards, it flies upwards. Same way how our actions and reactions meet. Sometimes when we perform a certain act, the reaction to it would be completely different from what we had expected. That is why we would experience a lot of good people experience a few bad things, and a lot of bad people experience a few good things in life. Somewhere down the line, they would have done something that has added to their karma value, which would benefit them in the future. Now, in the modern world, many of us who are following certain traditions, some of us we are not following any tradition, culture, religion, or whatever we want to call and dedicate that particular word to, it all doesn't matter to karma. Because when you're born in life, you've been given your actions and you've been given your life. And this mind and life is exactly like paper and pen. The paper is like your life. It has endless opportunities, and the pen is like each and every action you perform in life. But then you can ask me a question. So many people do so many good things, but yet their rewards are so small for the interim costs. And again, the movement is very, very peculiar in the act of karma. For some people, they will work so hard for a certain period of time, but they would reap the rewards only later in life. There are many people who have succeeded not until they reached their 60s, whereas some have experienced success when they were 10 or 15 as well. There is no measure to the value of goodwill. When you keep performing good deeds to everyone, much like the farmer story, one random act of kindness at a time, you would be amazed by the amount of goodwill that comes your way. Because the science of the universe says it gives you good things only when you're fully ready to accept it as a whole. And that is exactly what is known as karma. Now here is one small fact I would like to conclude with. Now many of us, we have a thinking that memories should always be cherished, but to the flip side of the same coin, many people are hung up on their memories for negative reasons as well, something bad or something good. But the law of the universe states that memories as a whole is bound to make you remain in the past. Now, through your memories, good or bad, you are communicating to your soul by saying that you have experienced the highest amount of good by cherishing your memories, or to the flip side of that coin, you have been completely destroyed in life by a bad memory. Now, if you empty that space, your body and your mind goes out to the universe to fill that void and have a pleasant memory that you could carry for the rest of your life. And that is what the law of the universe and nature itself is built upon. Now, in order to do that, we just need to do one thing, and that is just to free our mind, and it will always lead the way. That's a wrap for this particular episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And as always, thank you for watching. And until the next episode, it is goodbye.